Have you ever noticed that worry does not wait for tragedy to happen before it starts destroying you? It steals your peace while your life is still safe. It steals your sleep while nothing has even gone wrong. It makes you suffer in your imagination, fight invisible problems, and live inside a future that may never arrive. And the saddest part is this: one day, you may look back and realize that your life was not stolen by pain, failure, or loss. It was stolen by all the years you spent worrying about pain, failure, and loss before they ever came. Buddhism teaches that the mind can become a prison or a path to freedom. If you do not learn to guide your thoughts will quietly guide your whole life into fear. So before worry takes another day from you, listen carefully. Because the life you were meant to live is not waiting in tomorrow. It is being lost or saved right now, in this very moment. 1. Worry is suffering before suffering arrives. Worry makes you suffer before life has even touched you. It brings tomorrow's problems into today's peace and makes your mind live through pain that may never happen. First, you suffer in your imagination. Then, if the problem really comes, you suffer again in reality. But many times, the thing you feared never happens, and still your heart has already become tired from carrying it. Buddhism teaches that suffering grows when the mind leaves the present moment. Your body may be safe, but your thoughts are running into the future. You may be sitting quietly, but inside your mind you are fighting a problem that has not arrived. You may be lying in bed, but instead of resting, your mind is creating stories, fears, and painful possibilities. This is how worry quietly steals your life. It makes you lose peace in a moment that was never dangerous. It makes your heart tired before anything has even happened. And slowly, you begin to understand that the problem was not always life itself. Sometimes the real suffering was the fear your mind created before life even changed. 2. You cannot control everything, but you can control your response. Many people worry because they want life to happen exactly the way they imagined. They want people to behave correctly, situations to go smoothly, problems to disappear quickly, and the future to feel safe. But life does not always move according to our plans. Sometimes people change, plans fail, doors close, and things happen that we never expected. Buddhism teaches that peace does not come from controlling everything outside you. Peace begins when you stop fighting what you cannot control and start taking care of what is happening inside you. You may not control the storm, but you can control whether you become stormy inside. You may not control someone's actions, but you can control how much space you give them in your mind. This does not mean you should do nothing. It means you should do your best, act with wisdom, and then stop torturing yourself over what is beyond your hands. When you understand this, worry loses some of its power. You stop wasting your energy trying to control the whole world, and you begin using your energy to stay calm, clear, and strong. The peaceful person is not someone who has a perfect life. The peaceful person is someone who has learned not to let every problem destroy their inner world. This is real strength, to face life as it comes, without allowing fear to rule your mind. 3. Do what you can, then release what you cannot. Buddhism does not teach you to ignore your problems. It teaches you to face them with a calm and clear mind. If something needs your action, take action. If something needs your honesty, speak with honesty. If something needs your effort, give your best effort. But after you have done what you can, do not keep punishing your mind by worrying again and again. Worry often makes us feel like we are doing something, but worry is not action. Thinking about the same problem all night does not solve it. Imagining every bad result does not protect you. Hurting your own peace does not make life easier. Sometimes the wisest thing you can do is take one right step and then stop carrying what is not in your hands. A farmer can plant the seed, water the soil, and protect the field, but he cannot force the rain to fall or command the seed to grow faster. In the same way, you can work hard, make good choices, and do your part, but you cannot control every result. Life has its own timing, and peace begins when you stop fighting that truth. So do your part with sincerity, then breathe and release the rest. This does not mean giving up. It means trusting that you have done what you could. When you stop carrying what belongs to the future, your mind becomes lighter, your heart becomes calmer, and your life becomes easier to live. 4. Come back to the breath. When the mind runs too far. When worry becomes too loud, the first mistake many people make is trying to fight every thought. They argue with the mind, they try to force fear to disappear. They ask why they are thinking like this, and they become even more trapped inside their own head. But Buddhism teaches a different way. You do not always need to fight the mind. Sometimes you only need to gently return to the breath. The breath is powerful because it is always in the present moment. Your thoughts may run into tomorrow, next month, or next year, but your breath never leaves now. Your mind may be imagining problems that have not happened, but your breath is still happening in this moment. This is why mindful breathing is so important in Buddhism. It brings you back from the noise of fear into the quiet truth of the present. When you feel worry rising, pause for a moment and notice your breathing. Do not try to make it perfect. Do not force yourself to become peaceful immediately. Just breathe in and know that you are breathing in. Breathe out and know that you are breathing out. This simple awareness slowly tells the mind, I am here. I am safe in this moment. I do not need to live inside every fear my mind creates. The worried mind will still try to speak. It may say, what if everything goes wrong? It may say, what if I fail? It may say, what if I lose something important? But instead of following every thought, come back to one breath, then another, then another. Every time you return to the breath, you are training your mind not to run after fear. This does not mean your problems disappear immediately. It means you stop giving worry full control over your body, your heart, and your peace. A calm breath creates space between you and your thoughts. And in that space, you can see more clearly. You can choose wisely. You can respond instead of panic. So whenever your mind runs too far into the future, let your breath bring you back home. The future is not here yet, but this breath is here. The fear is only a thought, but this moment is real. And sometimes, one peaceful breath is enough to remind you that you are not lost. You are only being called back to yourself. 5. Stop believing every thought your mind creates. One of the biggest reasons worry becomes so powerful is because we believe every thought that appears in the mind. A thought comes and says, something bad will happen, and immediately the heart becomes heavy. Another thought comes and says, you are going to fail, and suddenly the body feels weak. Another thought comes and says, people will leave you, and before anything has even happened, you are already suffering inside. This is how the mind creates fear, not always through reality, but through stories. Buddhism teaches that thoughts are not always truth. Thoughts are only mental movements. They arise, they stay for a little while, and then they pass away. Some thoughts are useful, but many thoughts are only old fears, old wounds, old habits, and old memories speaking again. Just because your mind says something does not mean life is really that way. Just because fear feels strong does not mean fear is telling the truth. When you are worried, your mind can become like a storyteller. It creates one painful scene after another. It shows you the worst result, the worst reaction, the worst future, and the worst version of yourself. Then you begin to live as if those stories are already real. You may lose sleep over something that never happened. You may become angry at someone because of something you only imagined. You may stop yourself from trying because your mind already told you that you will fail. This is why awareness is so important. Awareness helps you step back and see the thought instead of becoming the thought. When a worried thought appears, you can gently say, this is only a thought. It is not my whole reality. This simple understanding creates distance between you and fear. You do not have to fight the thought. You do not have to hate it. You only have to see it clearly. A worried thought is like a cloud passing through the sky. It may look dark for a moment, but it is not the whole sky. In the same way, worry may pass through your mind, but it is not your whole life. You are bigger than one fearful thought. You are deeper than one painful feeling. You are not the storm inside your mind. You are the awareness that can watch the storm without becoming destroyed by it. So when your mind says, everything will go wrong, pause before you believe it. When your mind says, you are not strong enough, pause before you accept it. When your mind says, there is no way forward, pause and breathe. Ask yourself, is this truth or is this fear speaking? Many times, you will realize that your mind is not warning you about reality. It is only repeating the fear it has practiced for a long time. The more you stop believing every thought, the more freedom you begin to feel. You understand that peace does not come from having a silent mind all the time. Peace comes when you no longer obey every fearful voice inside you. Thoughts may still come, but they do not have to control your life. Worry may still appear, but it does not have to decide your future. This is real inner freedom, to let thoughts come and go without allowing them to rule your heart. To hear fear without becoming fear. To notice worry without becoming a prisoner of it. And slowly, with patience and awareness, your mind becomes less like a cage and more like an open sky. 6. Gratitude brings the mind back to what is still good. When worry enters the mind, it does not come quietly. It comes like a thief that steals your attention from everything good that is still around you. It makes you look only at what may go wrong, what may be lost, what may break, what may hurt you, and what may happen in the future. Slowly, your mind begins to believe that life is only danger, only pressure, only uncertainty, and only fear. But Buddhism teaches that this is not seeing clearly. This is seeing life through the dark glass of worry. Worry makes the mind blind to blessings. You may have food in front of you, but your mind is thinking about tomorrow's problems. You may have a roof over your head, but your heart is afraid of what might happen next month. You may have someone who cares about you, but your thoughts are busy focusing on someone who left, someone who hurt you, or someone who did not understand your heart. You may still have strength, health, time, breath, and another day to begin again, but worry makes all of these things feel small because it keeps pointing your attention toward what is missing. This is why gratitude is so powerful. Gratitude does not mean pretending that life is perfect. Gratitude does not mean ignoring your pain, hiding your problems, or acting as if nothing is wrong. Gratitude means that even while life is not perfect, you still choose to notice what has not been taken from you. It means that even while you are facing difficulty, you still remember that your whole life is not only difficulty. It means that even while one part of your heart is tired, another part of your life may still be offering you quiet blessings. Buddhism teaches us to see things as they truly are, and seeing clearly means seeing both sides. Yes, there may be pain, but there may also be support. Yes, there may be uncertainty, but there is also this breath. Yes, there may be loss, but there is also something that remains. Yes, there may be fear, but there is also awareness. When you only look at what is wrong, the mind becomes heavy. But when you also notice what is still good, the mind begins to find balance again. A worried mind says, "What if everything falls apart?" Gratitude gently says, "But something is still holding me right now." A worried mind says, "What if I lose more?" Gratitude says, "Let me first notice what I still have." A worried mind says, "Nothing is going right." Gratitude says, "Not everything is perfect, but not everything is broken." This is the power of gratitude. It does not deny suffering, but it refuses to let suffering become the whole story. Many people wait for life to become perfect before they feel thankful. They say, "I will be grateful when my problems are solved." I will be grateful when I have more money. I will be grateful when people treat me better. I will be grateful when I finally feel safe. But if you wait for a perfect life before you practice gratitude, you may wait forever. Life is always changing. There will always be something unfinished, something uncertain, something painful, or something you do not understand. If you attach your peace only to perfect conditions, your peace will always remain far away. Gratitude teaches you to find peace inside imperfect conditions. It teaches you to say, life is not exactly how I want it to be, but there is still something here worth noticing. Maybe your heart is heavy, but you still woke up today. Maybe your mind is tired, but your breath is still moving. Maybe you have lost someone, but you have not lost yourself completely. Maybe the future is unclear, but this moment is still here. Maybe one door closed, but your life has not ended. These small truths may seem simple, but they are powerful enough to bring the mind back from fear. When you are worried, your mind usually runs toward what is absent. It thinks about the money you do not have, the answer you have not received, the person who did not stay, the result that has not come, the respect that was not given, or the future that is not guaranteed. Gratitude brings the mind back to what is present. It says, look again, there is still something here. This simple shift can change the state of your heart. Imagine a person sitting under a tree, worried about the future. The sun is touching their face, the wind is moving gently, birds are singing nearby, and the earth is holding them. But because the mind is trapped in fear, they cannot feel any of it. They are physically surrounded by life, but mentally trapped inside worry. This is how many people live every day. Life is touching them, but they cannot receive it because worry has closed the door of attention. Gratitude opens that door again. It says, come back. Notice the sunlight. Notice the breath. Notice the body that has carried you until now. Notice the small kindness someone showed you. Notice the strength that helped you survive your worst days. Notice the fact that even after everything, you are still here. When you begin to notice these things, the mind slowly becomes softer. The heart begins to breathe again. You may still have problems, but you no longer feel completely surrounded by darkness. In Buddhism, suffering often grows from attachment, craving, and resistance. We suffer when we cling tightly to how life should be and reject the life that is here. Gratitude does not mean you stop improving your life. It means you stop hating your life while you are improving it. This is very important. You can want a better future and still be thankful for today. You can work toward growth and still honor what you already have. You can desire healing and still respect the strength that has kept you alive until this moment. Many people think gratitude will make them lazy, as if being thankful means they will stop trying. But true gratitude does not make you weak, it gives you strength. A person who is always focused on what is missing becomes exhausted. Their heart is always chasing, always comparing, always feeling behind. But a grateful person has a different kind of energy. They are not blind to what they need, but they are also not blind to what they already have. This gives them calmness, and calmness gives them power. When you practice gratitude, you stop living like everything is against you. You begin to see that life has hurt you, yes, but life has also held you. Life has taken things from you, yes, but life has also given you chances, lessons, people, moments, and strength. Even your painful experiences may have taught you something. Maybe they taught you to be wiser. Maybe they taught you to stop trusting empty words. Maybe they taught you to protect your peace. Maybe they taught you how strong you really are. Gratitude can even look at pain and say, I did not want this, but I can still learn from it. This does not mean you should be grateful for abuse, betrayal, or suffering itself. It means you can be grateful for the wisdom you gained, the strength you discovered, and the person you became after surviving what tried to break you. Buddhism does not ask you to love your suffering, it asks you to understand it clearly so that it no longer controls you. Gratitude is one way of taking power back from pain. A worried mind often says, "I cannot be peaceful until everything is fixed." But gratitude answers, "You can touch peace right now, even before everything is fixed." This is not easy at first, because worry has trained the mind to search for danger. If you have spent many years worrying, your mind may automatically look for what could go wrong. It may feel strange to look for what is still good. But with practice, the mind can be trained again. The same mind that learned worry can also learn gratitude. Start small. Do not force yourself to feel grateful for big things immediately. Begin with what is simple and real. Be grateful for one breath. Be grateful for one quiet minute. Be grateful for clean water. Be grateful for a bed, even if your sleep is not perfect. Be grateful for the ability to learn, even if life feels hard. Be grateful for the fact that you are trying, even if you are not where you want to be. Small gratitude is still gratitude. And small gratitude repeated every day becomes a new way of seeing life. Every morning, before worry begins to speak loudly, place your attention on one thing that is still good. It may be the light coming through the window. It may be the sound of birds. It may be the chance to try again. It may be the simple truth that you survived yesterday. Do not rush past these things as if they are nothing. The mind that learns to notice small blessings becomes harder for worry to control. Every night, before you sleep, do the same. Instead of ending the day by counting your fears, count 3 things that helped you continue. Maybe someone smiled at you. Maybe you completed one small task. Maybe you avoided one wrong reaction. Maybe you stayed calm when you wanted to break. Maybe you simply made it through a difficult day. That is enough. Gratitude is not always about great success. Sometimes gratitude is about recognizing quiet survival. When you practice this daily, something begins to change inside you. You still notice your problems, but they no longer become your entire world. You still understand that life is uncertain, but you no longer forget that life is also precious. You still feel worry sometimes, but worry no longer owns your attention completely. Gratitude becomes like a lamp in a dark room. It may not remove the whole darkness at once, but it gives you enough light to see your next step. This is why gratitude is not just a positive habit, it is a spiritual practice. It brings the mind back from the future into the present. It brings the heart back from fear into awareness. It teaches you to live with open eyes instead of wounded imagination. It reminds you that even in a difficult life, there are still moments worth receiving. A person who has gratitude does not need everything to be perfect to feel alive. They can sit quietly and feel the gift of breath. They can eat simple food and feel blessed. They can walk alone and still feel connected to life. They can face uncertainty and still say, "This moment is enough for me to breathe, to learn, and to continue." This is not ordinary thinking. This is deep strength. Worry makes you feel poor even when you have enough for this moment. Gratitude makes you feel rich even when life is simple. Worry says, "You are missing too much." Gratitude says, "You still have something sacred." Worry says, "You are not safe until everything is guaranteed." Gratitude says, "Nothing is guaranteed, and that is why this moment matters." When you understand impermanence, gratitude becomes even deeper. Buddhism teaches that everything changes. The people you love will change. Your body will change. Your emotions will change. Your problems will change. Your opportunities will change. Even the things you take for granted today may not always be here. This truth is not meant to make you afraid. It is meant to wake you up, because if everything is temporary, then this breath is precious. This morning is precious. This person beside you is precious. This chance to begin again is precious. This ordinary day, which your worried mind may ignore, is actually a gift that will never return in the same way again. Gratitude helps you see that before it is too late. Many people only become grateful after they lose something. They miss their health after becoming sick. They miss someone after that person is gone. They miss peace after they have destroyed it with overthinking. They miss simple days after life becomes complicated. But wisdom means learning to appreciate what is here before it becomes what you miss. So look at your life gently. Not everything is perfect, but not everything is empty. Not everything is easy, but not everything is impossible. Not everyone stayed, but you are still standing. Not every dream came true, but there is still time to grow. Not every wound has healed, but healing has already begun in ways you may not see. Gratitude is not a denial of pain. It is the decision not to let pain blind you. It is the choice to say, yes, I am carrying something heavy, but I will still notice the light. It is the courage to say, yes, I have worries, but I will not forget my blessings. It is the wisdom to say, yes, life is uncertain, but I am still alive in this moment. When worry tries to steal your life, gratitude brings your life back into your hands. It reminds you that you are not only waiting for future peace. You can touch a small piece of peace right now. You can breathe. You can notice. You can soften. You can remember what is still good. And slowly, this practice changes you. You become less controlled by fear and more guided by awareness. You become less focused on what might disappear and more thankful for what is still here. You stop seeing life only as a list of problems, and you begin seeing it as a field of lessons, blessings, and moments that are asking to be lived. So when worry rises, do not only ask, what could go wrong? Also ask, what is still good right now? When your mind says, I do not have enough, ask, what do I already have that I have forgotten to appreciate? When fear says, life is against me, ask, where has life still supported me? These questions bring you back to balance. They do not remove every problem, but they stop worry from controlling the whole mind. They remind you that your life is not only what hurts, your life is also what heals, what teaches, what remains, and what continues. This is the quiet power of gratitude. It brings the wandering mind back home. It brings the fearful heart back to the present. It shows you that even when life is unfinished, there is still something to honor. Even when the future is unknown, there is still something to receive. Even when worry is loud, there is still a deeper silence inside you that knows this moment is enough. So today, do not wait for a perfect life before you feel thankful. Begin with this breath. Begin with this moment. Begin with the simple truth that you are still here, still learning, still healing, and still able to choose peace. Worry may show you what could be lost, but gratitude shows you what is still alive. And when you train your mind to see what is still good, worry can no longer steal the whole beauty of your life. 7. Live before life passes you by. One day, you will look back at this season of your life, and you may realize something very painful. Many of the things you worried about never happened. Many of the fears that stole your sleep were only shadows in the mind. Many of the problems you imagined did not arrive the way you expected. And even if some difficulties did come, you still found a way to survive them. But the days you lost to worry will not come back. The mornings you spent with a heavy heart will not return. The peaceful moments you ignored because your mind was trapped in fear will be gone forever. This is why Buddhism reminds us to wake up before life passes like a dream. Life does not wait for you to stop worrying. Time does not pause until your mind becomes peaceful. The sun rises even when you are anxious. The seasons change even when your heart is afraid. People grow older, moments disappear, opportunities move on, and slowly, if you are not careful, you may spend your whole life preparing for problems instead of actually living the life in front of you. Worry makes you believe that you are protecting your future, but many times, worry only steals your present. It tells you, think about this more, fear this more, prepare for every bad possibility. But while you are busy imagining what may go wrong, life is quietly happening around you. A beautiful morning passes. A simple meal becomes tasteless. A conversation with someone you love becomes empty because your body is there, but your mind is somewhere else. This is how worry steals life. Not in one big moment, but in small pieces every day. Buddhism teaches the truth of impermanence. Everything is changing. Nothing stays exactly the same forever. Your body is changing. Your emotions are changing. Your relationships are changing. Your problems are changing. Your youth, your strength, your chances, your ordinary days, all of them are moving. This truth is not meant to make you sad. It is meant to wake you up. Because when you understand that life is temporary, you stop wasting your soul on fears that do not deserve your whole heart. Many people live as if they have unlimited time. They say, "I will be peaceful later. I will enjoy life later. I will rest later. I will love myself later. I will begin again later." But later is not promised. The only moment you can touch is this one. The only breath you can feel is this breath. The only life you can live is the life that is happening now. If you keep giving the present moment to worry, then one day you may look back and wonder why you never truly allowed yourself to be alive. This does not mean you should ignore responsibilities. It does not mean you should stop planning, stop caring, or stop thinking about your future. Buddhism does not teach careless living. It teaches awakened living. There is a big difference between wise planning and endless worrying. Wise planning looks at life clearly and takes action. Worry looks at life fearfully and creates suffering. Wise planning says, "What can I do now?" Worry says, "What if everything goes wrong?" Wise planning uses the mind as a tool. Worry turns the mind into a prison. To live before life passes you by, you must learn to return to what is real. This breath is real. This step is real. This morning is real. This chance to become better is real. The love you can give today is real. The kindness you can show today is real. The peace you can choose today is real. But many of your fears are not real yet. They are only pictures created by the mind, and if you keep worshipping those pictures, you will miss the living truth that is already in front of you. Think about how many times worry has lied to you. It told you that you would not survive, but you did. It told you that one ending would destroy your whole life, but somehow you kept breathing. It told you that one mistake would ruin everything, but life still gave you another day. It told you that you were not strong enough, but here you are, still standing after things you once thought you could never face. If worry has been wrong so many times before, why should it be allowed to rule your life now? A worried mind always asks, what if something bad happens? But a wise heart asks, what if I spend my whole life afraid and the life I feared losing passes away while I am still worrying? This question can open your eyes. Because the greatest loss is not always the problem you fear. Sometimes the greatest loss is the joy you did not feel, the peace you did not receive, the love you did not express, the dreams you did not begin, and the simple moments you did not appreciate because worry was louder than life. Look at a flower. It does not wait for perfect weather to bloom. It opens while life is still uncertain. Look at the birds. They do not know everything that will happen tomorrow, but still they sing in the morning. Look at the river. It does not stop flowing because stones stand in its path. It moves around them. It continues. Nature understands something the worried mind forgets. Life is meant to be lived while it is changing, not after everything becomes certain. You may be waiting for a day when every problem disappears before you allow yourself to feel peace. But that day may never come. Life will always have something unfinished. There will always be something to fix, something to understand, something to heal, something to protect, or something to face. If you wait for all problems to disappear before you live, you may never live at all. Peace is not found after every wave stops. Peace is found when you learn how to breathe even while the waves are moving. This is one of the deepest lessons Buddhism offers. You do not need a perfect life to be present. You do not need a perfect future to be grateful. You do not need every answer before you take your next step. You can live now. You can breathe now. You can soften your heart now. You can stop punishing yourself now. You can choose a little peace now. The mind may say, "Not yet," but wisdom says, "This moment is all you truly have." Many people worry because they think worry proves they care. They believe that if they stop worrying, it means they are being careless. But worry is not the same as love. Worry is not the same as responsibility. Worry is not the same as wisdom. You can care deeply without destroying your mind. You can love someone without carrying fear every second. You can be responsible without living in panic. You can prepare for life without letting fear steal your soul. If something can be changed, change it with patience. If something can be repaired, repair it with honesty. If something needs your effort, give your effort fully. But after you have done what you can, release the rest. Do not sit beside the seed every night crying because it has not become a tree yet. Do not keep reopening the wound to check if it has healed. Do not keep living inside tomorrow when today is asking for your attention. Life is not asking you to control everything. Life is asking you to be awake for what is here. To live before life passes you by, you must stop treating the present moment like it is not enough. Worry always says, something else must happen first. It says, you can relax after you succeed. You can smile after everything is safe. You can enjoy life after every problem is solved. But Buddhism teaches that this moment, with all its imperfection, is still sacred. This ordinary day is still your life. This breath, even if your heart is tired, is still a gift. This small chance to begin again is still meaningful. One day, you may miss the very days you are now worrying through. You may miss the home you are not appreciating. You may miss the people you are too distracted to enjoy. You may miss the body you keep criticizing. You may miss the simple routines that feel boring now. You may miss the version of life that your worried mind keeps calling incomplete. This is why awareness matters. It helps you love the present before it becomes the past. Buddhism does not ask you to pretend that life is easy. It asks you to see life clearly. And when you see clearly, you understand that worry does not make the future safer. It only makes the present heavier. It does not stop pain from coming. It only makes you suffer before pain arrives. It does not give you control over life. It only gives fear control over you. Once you see this clearly, you begin to loosen your grip on worry. Ask yourself gently, how much of my life have I already given to fear? Not to shame yourself, but to wake yourself up. How many peaceful evenings have you ruined by imagining tomorrow's problems? How many happy moments have you ignored because your mind was busy preparing for sadness? How many chances have you avoided because worry told you that you were not ready? How many times have you stopped yourself from living because fear demanded certainty first? The truth is, certainty is not the price of living. You do not need to know everything before you continue. You do not need to feel fearless before you begin. You do not need to have a perfect mind before you can experience peace. You only need to take one conscious breath and return to this moment. Then another breath. Then another step. Slowly, life begins to open again. When worry tells you to hide from life, take one small action. When worry tells you to delay your happiness, notice one small blessing. When worry tells you that everything is dangerous, return to your breath and look at what is actually happening right now. This is how you reclaim your life. Not by defeating every fear at once, but by refusing to let fear own every moment. Living before life passes you by means you start paying attention again. You listen when someone speaks to you. You taste the food you are eating. You feel the air on your skin. You notice the sky. You give your full heart to small moments. You stop rushing through life as if peace is always somewhere else. You stop waiting for a perfect future to give yourself permission to be alive. It also means you forgive yourself for the time you have already lost. Maybe you have spent years worrying. Maybe fear has stolen many seasons from you. Maybe you look back and feel sadness for how much peace you missed. But do not turn even that into another reason to suffer. The purpose of awareness is not to punish you. The purpose of awareness is to bring you back. The past is gone, but this moment is not gone. You can still begin again. This is the beauty of the present moment. It is always inviting you back. No matter how long you were lost in worry, one breath can begin your return. No matter how many years you lived in fear, one moment of awareness can become the first step toward freedom. Buddhism teaches that awakening does not happen only in temples or perfect silence. It can happen right here, when you finally realize, I do not want to lose my life to worry anymore. From that realization, a new way of living begins. You still think about the future, but you do not worship it. You still remember the past, but you do not live there. You still face problems, but you do not become the problem. You still feel fear sometimes, but fear is no longer your master. You begin to live with more softness, more attention, more gratitude, and more courage. You start choosing life in small ways. You take care of your body because it is carrying you. You rest when you are tired because peace matters. You speak kindly to yourself because your mind has already suffered enough. You stop explaining your worth to people who refuse to see it. You stop delaying your dreams because you are afraid of failing. You stop letting worry decide how much joy you are allowed to feel. This is not easy, but it is possible. Every time you return to the present, you are taking your life back. Every time you breathe instead of panic, you are taking your life back. Every time you notice what is good, instead of only fearing what could go wrong, you are taking your life back. Every time you choose awareness over anxiety, you are taking your life back. And slowly, your life begins to feel different. Not because everything outside has become perfect, but because something inside has become awake. You stop chasing peace as if it belongs only to tomorrow. You begin to touch it here. You begin to understand that the life you were meant to live is not hidden in some distant future where nothing ever hurts you. It is here, in the way you meet this moment. The life you were meant to live is in the breath you are taking now. It is in the kindness you can offer now. It is in the courage to begin again now. It is in the ability to see beauty even while life is unfinished. It is in the decision to stop giving your whole mind to fear. It is in the simple, quiet promise you make to yourself, I will not let worry steal everything from me. So live before life passes you by. Do not wait until your final days to understand that peace was more valuable than overthinking. Do not wait until people are gone to appreciate them. Do not wait until your body is tired to respect it. Do not wait until time has moved on to realize that today was enough to be grateful for. Do not wait until the future becomes safe before you allow yourself to be alive. Let worry come if it comes, but do not build your home inside it. Let thoughts appear if they appear, but do not turn every thought into truth. Let life be uncertain, but do not let uncertainty make you forget the gift of being here. You are alive now. You can breathe now. You can choose peace now. You can begin again now. This is the quiet freedom Buddhism points toward. Not a life without change. Not a life without problems. Not a life where nothing difficult ever happens, but a life where your mind is no longer stolen by every fear. A life where you can stand in the middle of uncertainty and still remember your breath. A life where you can face tomorrow without abandoning today. So today, stop letting worry steal the life you were meant to live. Come back to this moment. Come back to your breath. Come back to what is real. The future has not arrived yet, and the past has already gone. But this moment is still open. This moment is still yours. And as long as you are breathing, it is not too late to live with more peace, more awareness, and more heart. The life you were meant to live is not waiting for perfect conditions. It is waiting for your attention. It is waiting for your courage. It is waiting for you to stop giving your soul to fears that may never come true. So breathe deeply. Look at this moment with fresh eyes. Let the mind become quiet. Let the heart become soft. Let life be lived, not feared. Because in the end, you will not wish you had worried more. You will not wish you had spent more nights fighting imaginary pain. You will not wish you had carried every fear like a duty. You will wish you had been more present. You will wish you had loved more freely. You will wish you had trusted life a little more. You will wish you had allowed yourself to feel peace while peace was still possible. So do not wait for that final realization. Understand it now. Worry is not your home. Fear is not your path. This breath is your doorway back. This moment is your chance to return. And the life you were meant to live begins the moment you stop letting worry live it for you. 8. Choose peace before worry becomes your way of life. There comes a time when you must stop treating worry like a normal part of living. Many people live with worry for so long that they begin to think this is simply who they are. They say, "I am just an overthinker. I am just an anxious person. I always worry. My mind never stops." But Buddhism teaches that what you practice again and again becomes a habit of the mind. If you practice fear every day, fear becomes familiar. If you practice worry every night, worry becomes your inner language. If you keep feeding the same painful thoughts, they begin to feel like truth, even when they are only repeated patterns. This is why you must choose peace before worry becomes your way of life. You must wake up and understand that your mind is not meant to be a battlefield forever. Your heart is not meant to live every day preparing for pain. Your soul is not meant to spend its whole life running from imagined problems. You were not born only to survive fear after fear, thought after thought, and day after day without ever feeling the calmness of being alive. Worry becomes dangerous when it starts to feel normal. At first, worry may come only during difficult moments. You worry when something uncertain happens. You worry when a problem appears. You worry when life feels unstable. But if you do not become aware of it, worry slowly begins to enter everything. You worry when things are bad, and then you worry when things are good, because you fear they will not last. You worry when someone leaves, and then you worry when someone stays, because you fear they may leave later. You worry when you fail, and then you worry when you succeed, because you fear losing what you gained. This is how worry becomes a prison. It does not need chains, it only needs your attention. It keeps asking for more space inside your mind, and if you keep giving it space, it slowly takes over your peace, your sleep, your confidence, your relationships, and even your ability to enjoy simple happiness. The saddest part is that many people do not notice this happening. They think they are being careful, but they are actually becoming afraid of living. Buddhism teaches the importance of awareness, because awareness is the beginning of freedom. You cannot change what you do not see. If worry has become your habit, the first step is not to hate yourself for it. The first step is to notice it gently. Notice when your mind starts running into the future. Notice when your heart becomes heavy because of something that has not happened. Notice when you begin creating painful stories without real evidence. Notice when you are sitting in a peaceful moment, but your thoughts are trying to drag you somewhere else. This noticing is powerful. It may seem small, but it is the doorway to change. When you notice worry, you are no longer completely lost inside it. You are now watching it. And the one who watches worry is already bigger than worry. The one who sees fear is not the same as fear. The one who becomes aware of the storm is not the storm itself. This is where peace begins. Choosing peace does not mean you will never worry again. It means worry will no longer be allowed to rule your whole life. It means when worry appears, you do not immediately obey it. You do not immediately believe every dark picture it shows you. You do not immediately leave the present moment and run behind every fear. Instead, you pause. You breathe. You ask, is this thought helping me, or is it only hurting me? You ask, is there something I can do right now, or am I just punishing myself with imagination? You ask, Am I living in this moment, or am I suffering inside a future that has not arrived? These questions bring light into the mind. And when light enters, worry loses some of its power. Worry grows in darkness. It grows when you do not question it. It grows when you believe it without awareness. It grows when you feed it with attention and fear. But when you look at worry clearly, you begin to see that it is not wisdom. It is not protection. It is not truth. Many times, worry is only the mind trying to control what cannot be controlled. A peaceful life does not come from having no problems. This is very important to understand. Many people believe they will become peaceful only when everything in life becomes perfect. They think peace will come after they have enough money, after people understand them, after every relationship becomes stable, after every question is answered, after every fear disappears. But Buddhism teaches that peace does not depend on perfect conditions. Peace is something you practice within changing conditions. Life will always change. There will always be moments of uncertainty. There will always be people you cannot control, results you cannot predict, and situations you cannot fully understand. If your peace depends on everything outside you becoming perfect, then your peace will always be fragile. But when you learn to choose peace inside yourself, even while life is moving, you become stronger in a deeper way. Choosing peace means you stop giving your whole mind to what may go wrong. It means you start giving attention to what is still here, what can still be done, what can still be appreciated, and what can still be healed. It means you do not let one uncertain future destroy one real present moment. It means you understand that today is not less valuable just because tomorrow is unknown. Think about how many peaceful moments worry has already taken from you. Maybe you were sitting with your family, but your mind was somewhere else. Maybe you were eating food, but you could not taste it because your thoughts were heavy. Maybe someone tried to love you, but worry kept whispering that something would go wrong. Maybe you had a chance to rest, but your mind turned silence into fear. Maybe you had a beautiful day, but your thoughts kept searching for danger. This is why choosing peace must become intentional. Peace will not always come by itself, especially if worry has been your habit for years. You must practice returning to peace the way you once practiced returning to fear. Every time your mind runs away, bring it back. Every time worry becomes loud, breathe before you react. Every time fear shows you the worst future, remind yourself that imagination is not reality. Every time you feel your body tightening, soften your shoulders, relax your jaw, and return to the breath. The body and mind are connected. When worry enters the mind, the body often feels it first. The chest becomes tight, the stomach feels heavy, the head feels full, the breathing becomes shallow. The body acts as if danger is already here, even when the danger is only a thought. This is why mindful breathing is so healing. It tells the body, I am here. I am not inside that imagined future. I am in this moment. Slowly, the body begins to understand what the mind forgot. Peace is not something far away. Sometimes peace begins with one deep breath. Sometimes peace begins when you stop arguing with a thought. Sometimes peace begins when you say, I do not need to solve my whole life tonight. Sometimes peace begins when you give yourself permission to rest, even while something remains unfinished. Sometimes peace begins when you stop asking life to show you the entire road and simply take the next honest step. Buddhism teaches the middle way. This means not falling into extremes. Do not become careless and ignore your responsibilities, but also do not become so worried that you destroy yourself before anything happens. Do what you can, but do not carry what belongs to tomorrow. Plan with wisdom, but do not worship fear. Care deeply, but do not confuse caring with constant suffering. Love people, but do not lose yourself in fear of losing them. Work toward your future, but do not abandon the present. This balance is the heart of peaceful living. You can be responsible without being restless. You can be careful without being controlled by fear. You can prepare without panicking. You can care without carrying the whole world on your chest. You can face life seriously without making your mind a place of constant punishment. Many people feel guilty when they choose peace. They think, how can I be peaceful when problems still exist? But peace is not betrayal. Peace is not weakness. Peace is not pretending. Peace is the strength that helps you face problems without becoming destroyed by them. A worried mind makes everything heavier. A peaceful mind sees more clearly. It chooses better. It responds with wisdom instead of reacting with fear. When your mind is full of worry, even small problems look huge. But when your mind is calm, even big problems become easier to face step by step. This is why peace is not something you earn after solving everything. Peace is what helps you solve what can be solved and accept what cannot be controlled. Peace gives you strength. Worry takes it away. Choosing peace also means changing the way you speak to yourself. Many people add more suffering to worry by speaking harshly inside their own mind. They say, "Why am I like this? Why can't I stop thinking? I am weak. I am broken. I will never be calm." But this only creates more pain. Buddhism teaches compassion, and compassion must also be given to yourself. If your mind is tired, do not attack it. If your heart is afraid, do not shame it. If you have been worrying for years, do not hate yourself for learning fear. Gently teach yourself another way. Speak to yourself like you would speak to someone you love. Say, "I understand that you are afraid, but we do not need to suffer before suffering arrives." Say, "We can take one breath." Say, "We can face what is real right now." Say, "We do not have to believe every thought." Say, "We are allowed to rest." This kindness may feel simple, but it is deeply healing. A mind that has been controlled by fear does not need more violence. It needs patience, awareness, and gentle training. You must also be careful about what you feed your mind. If you constantly feed your mind fear, comparison, negative stories, painful memories, and imagined disasters, then worry will grow stronger. The mind becomes shaped by what it repeatedly receives. If every day you give attention to fear, fear becomes louder. If every day you give attention to peace, gratitude, wisdom, and awareness, peace becomes more natural. This does not mean avoiding reality. It means being wise with your attention. Do not let your mind become a home for every dark possibility. Do not keep replaying conversations that hurt you. Do not keep imagining endings that have not happened. Do not keep entering the same painful thought as if suffering will give you answers. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is stop feeding what is destroying your peace. Choosing peace requires discipline. Not harsh discipline, but gentle discipline. The discipline to return to your breath. The discipline to stop a thought before it becomes a story. The discipline to say, "This is not useful right now." The discipline to leave your phone, sit quietly, and let your nervous system calm down. The discipline to sleep instead of overthinking. The discipline to take action instead of worrying. The discipline to trust that you do not need to know everything today. A peaceful life is built through small choices, repeated often. One breath, one pause, one moment of awareness, one decision not to follow fear, one choice to be grateful, one choice to rest, one choice to respond calmly, one choice to let go of what is beyond your hands. These small choices may not seem powerful at first, but over time they reshape the mind. Just as worry becomes a habit through repetition, peace also becomes a habit through repetition. If you return to peace once, it may feel weak. If you return again and again, it becomes stronger. The mind begins to learn, I do not always have to run. I do not always have to panic. I do not always have to believe fear. I can come back. I can breathe. I can be here. This is how you free yourself. Not by waiting for a life without uncertainty, but by becoming a person who can live with uncertainty without losing the whole self. Not by removing every fearful thought, but by no longer bowing down to every fearful thought. Not by controlling the future, but by reclaiming the present. Not by escaping life, but by meeting life with a calmer heart. There will be days when worry returns. Do not see this as failure. The path of peace is not a straight road. Some days, your mind will be calm. Some days, old fears will come back. Some days, you will feel strong. Some days, you will feel tired. This is part of being human. Buddhism does not ask you to become perfect. It asks you to become aware. Each time you notice worry and return to the present, you are practicing freedom. So when worry comes back, do not say, "I failed." Say, "This is another chance to practice." When fear becomes loud, do not say, "I am broken." Say, "This is another moment to return." When your mind runs into the future, do not punish yourself. Gently bring it home. Peace is not built through self-hate. Peace is built through patient returning. Imagine your mind like a garden. If you allow weeds to grow every day and never care for the soil, the garden becomes wild and heavy. Worry is like a weed. It grows quickly when you do not notice it. But peace is like a seed. It needs attention. It needs water. It needs patience. It needs daily care. You cannot expect a peaceful mind if you never plant peaceful thoughts, peaceful actions, and peaceful habits. Every day, ask yourself, what am I growing inside my mind? Am I growing fear, or am I growing trust? Am I growing panic, or am I growing patience? Am I growing resentment, or am I growing compassion? Am I growing worry, or am I growing awareness? These questions help you become the gardener of your own inner world. You may not control the weather of life, but you can care for the garden of your mind. You may not stop every storm, but you can strengthen your roots. You may not choose everything that happens outside you, but you can choose what you continue to feed inside you. This is real power, quiet power, spiritual power. Choosing peace before worry becomes your way of life, means you finally decide that your inner world matters, your rest matters, your breath matters, your joy matters, your presence matters, your ability to sit quietly without fear matters. Your life is not something to be spent only in survival mode. You deserve to experience the simple beauty of being alive. You deserve to drink tea and actually taste it. You deserve to sit under the sky and actually see it. You deserve to be with someone you love and actually feel their presence. You deserve to wake up without immediately handing your mind to fear. You deserve to sleep without carrying tomorrow on your chest. You deserve to live today without being controlled by a future that has not arrived. But peace will not be chosen for you. You must choose it again and again. Not loudly, not perfectly, not all at once, but gently, in the small moments where worry tries to take over. You choose peace when you pause before reacting. You choose peace when you breathe before believing fear. You choose peace when you stop replaying what hurt you. You choose peace when you take one step instead of imagining 10 disasters. You choose peace when you say, "I will not let this thought own me." And slowly, peace becomes less strange. It becomes more familiar. Your mind begins to understand that calmness is possible. Your heart begins to trust that it does not need to live in constant fear. Your body begins to relax because it is no longer being forced to survive imaginary danger every day. You begin to feel space inside yourself again. This is not the end of all worry. It is the beginning of a new relationship with worry. Before, worry may have been your master. Now, worry becomes only a visitor. It may knock on the door of your mind, but you do not have to invite it to live there. It may speak, but you do not have to obey. It may show you fear, but you do not have to call it truth. A peaceful person is not someone who never feels worry. A peaceful person is someone who has learned how to return. They return to the breath. They return to the present. They return to wisdom. They return to gratitude. They return to what can be done. They return to what is real. and every return is a victory. So today, begin choosing peace in the smallest way. Do not wait until your whole life is calm. Do not wait until every problem disappears. Do not wait until you become a different person. Begin with one breath. Begin with one thought you choose not to believe. Begin with one fear you choose not to feed. Begin with one moment where you say, I am here, and this moment is enough for me to return. The life you were meant to live is not found in constant worry. It is found in awareness. It is found in courage. It is found in the quiet decision to stop abandoning the present. It is found when you realize that fear may visit you, but it does not have to guide you. It is found when you understand that peace is not something you chase at the end of life. Peace is something you practice while life is happening. So choose peace before worry becomes your way of life. Choose awareness before fear becomes your identity. Choose the breath before the mind runs too far. Choose gratitude before your heart forgets what is still good. Choose action before overthinking drains your strength. Choose trust before imagination becomes suffering. Choose this moment before it becomes another memory you were too worried to live. And when worry comes again, because sometimes it will, meet it with wisdom. Say, I see you, but I will not become you. Say, I hear you, but I will not obey everything you say. Say, you may be present, but you are not my home. Then breathe deeply and return to yourself. This is how you protect your life from worry. Not by fighting every thought, but by refusing to let thoughts steal your whole existence. Not by controlling every future event, but by honoring the present moment. Not by becoming fearless, but by becoming aware enough to live even when fear appears. Your life is too precious to be spent inside imagined pain. Your heart is too sacred to be handed over to every fearful thought. Your breath is too valuable to be wasted on futures that may never arrive. You are here now, and now is where life is waiting for you. So let the mind become quiet. Let the body soften. Let the heart remember that it does not have to carry everything today. Let peace enter, not because life is perfect, but because this moment is still yours. Worry may try to steal your life, but awareness can bring it back. Fear may try to darken your path, but one conscious breath can become light. Choose peace, again and again, until peace becomes more familiar than worry. Choose presence, again and again, until the present becomes more powerful than fear. Choose life, again and again, until you no longer spend your days preparing for pain instead of receiving what is here. Because the life you were meant to live begins when you stop letting worry live it for you. It begins when you stop treating fear as your guide and start treating awareness as your path. It begins when you understand that peace is not waiting somewhere far away. Peace is waiting inside the next breath, inside the next pause, inside the next moment you choose not to follow worry. And that moment can begin now. 9. Trust the present moment more than the fearful future. One of the deepest reasons worry steals your life is because it makes you trust the fearful future more than the present moment. Your body is here, but your mind keeps saying, something bad may happen later. Your breath is here, but your thoughts keep running toward problems that have not arrived. Your life is happening now, but worry keeps pulling your attention into a future that exists only inside your imagination. This is how worry becomes powerful. It makes the future feel more real than the present. It makes an imagined problem feel stronger than the actual moment you are living. You may be safe right now, but your mind tells you to be afraid. You may have enough for today, but your mind tells you to panic about tomorrow. You may be surrounded by peace, but your thoughts keep showing you pictures of pain. Slowly, you stop living in reality, and you begin living inside fear. Buddhism teaches that the present moment is the only place where life can truly be touched. You cannot breathe yesterday's breath. You cannot live tomorrow before it arrives. You cannot solve every future problem from today's fear. The only place where you have power is now. The only place where awareness can exist is now. The only place where peace can begin is now. But worry does not want you to stay here. Worry keeps saying, go there, think about later, imagine what could happen, prepare for every possible pain. And because the mind wants safety, it follows worry. It believes that if it imagines enough danger, it will somehow become protected. But many times, this does not protect you. It only exhausts you. You must understand this clearly. Thinking about every possible problem is not the same as being ready for life. A calm mind can prepare better than a fearful mind. A present mind can see more clearly than a worried mind. When you are trapped in fear, you do not always make wise decisions. You make decisions from panic, attachment, insecurity, and old wounds. But when you return to the present moment, you can see what is actually here, what is actually needed, and what step can actually be taken. The fearful future is often built from memories of past pain. If someone hurt you before, worry says, it may happen again. If you failed before, worry says, you will fail again. If you lost something before, worry says, you will lose again. The mind uses old pain to create future fear. But Buddhism teaches that each moment is new. The present is not always the past repeating itself. This breath is new. This day is new. This situation may be new. You do not have to bring yesterday's suffering into every tomorrow. This does not mean you should ignore what you have learned. Wisdom remembers lessons, but worry keeps reopening wounds. Wisdom says, I learned from what happened. Worry says, because it happened once, it must happen again. Wisdom protects you with awareness. Worry imprisons you with fear. Wisdom helps you walk carefully. Worry makes you afraid to walk at all. When you trust the present moment, you are not saying that the future will be perfect. You are saying, I will meet the future when it arrives. I will not suffer for it before it comes. This is a very powerful shift. You stop trying to live the whole road in one day. You stop trying to carry every possible tomorrow on your chest. You stop demanding that life give you complete certainty before you allow yourself to breathe. Life rarely gives complete certainty. People change. Plans change. Health changes. Work changes. Relationships change. Feelings change. Even the things you think are stable can shift. If you wait for certainty before you feel peace, your peace will always be delayed. But if you learn to trust the present moment, then even in uncertainty, you can find a place to stand. The present moment may not give you every answer, but it gives you something more important. It gives you a starting point. It gives you the next breath. It gives you the next step. It gives you the chance to look clearly at what is happening now, instead of drowning in what might happen later. This is how you become strong, not by knowing the entire future, but by being fully awake for the step in front of you. A worried mind asks, what if I cannot handle what comes? But look at your own life. How many things have you already handled that once felt impossible? How many days did you think would break you, but somehow you survived? How many times did fear tell you that you would not make it, but here you are, still breathing, still learning, still continuing. Your past is not only a record of pain, it is also a record of your strength. Worry often forgets your strength. It remembers the danger, but it forgets your survival. It remembers the wound, but it forgets the healing. It remembers the night you cried, but it forgets the morning you got up again. So when fear says, you will not be able to face tomorrow, answer with truth. I have faced many tomorrows before, and I am still here. This does not mean you will never feel afraid. Fear is part of being human. Even a wise person can feel fear. Even a calm person can feel uncertainty. Buddhism does not ask you to remove every emotion. It teaches you to understand emotions without becoming ruled by them. Fear may appear, but fear does not need to become your master. Worry may speak, but worry does not need to become your guide. To trust the present moment, you must learn how to return to your senses. Worry lives in imagination. Presence lives in direct experience. Feel your feet touching the ground. Notice the air entering your lungs. Look at the light around you. Listen to the sounds near you. Feel the weight of your body. These simple things bring you back from the future into now. They remind the nervous system that you are not inside the imagined disaster. You are here. Sometimes the mind runs so far that it forgets the body. You may be sitting in a room, but your mind is in a painful future. You may be lying in bed, but your thoughts are fighting things that have not happened. So bring your attention back to the body. The body is always in the present. The body does not live in next year. The body does not live inside imagined conversations. The body is breathing now. And when you return to the body, you return to the moment. This is why many Buddhist practices begin with mindfulness of breathing, walking, sitting, eating, and listening. These are simple practices, but they are not small. They train the mind to stop escaping the present. When you drink water, just drink water. When you walk, just walk. When you breathe, know that you are breathing. When someone speaks, listen fully. This kind of attention teaches the mind that life is not only something to fear, life is something to experience. Worry makes ordinary moments feel useless because it says, you must think about the future. But ordinary moments are the place where life is actually lived. A warm cup in your hands, a quiet morning, the sound of rain, a deep breath after a long day, a simple meal, a kind word, a moment of silence. These things may seem small, but when you are truly present, they become healing. Many people lose the beauty of ordinary life because worry convinces them that only big problems deserve attention. But if you only give attention to problems, your life becomes nothing but problems. You must also give attention to peace, beauty, kindness, breath, silence, and small blessings. This does not make you weak. It makes you balanced. It helps the mind remember that life is not only danger. Trusting the present moment also means trusting that you do not need to solve everything at once. A worried mind wants the entire path immediately. It wants every answer, every guarantee, every result, and every protection. But life often reveals itself step by step. You may not know what will happen next year. You may not know how everything will work out. But you can ask, what is the wise thing to do today? That is enough for now. A mountain is climbed one step at a time. A wound heals one day at a time. A peaceful mind is built one breath at a time. A new life is created one choice at a time. Worry wants to carry the whole mountain, but wisdom takes the next step. Worry wants to heal everything overnight, but patience allows healing to unfold. Worry wants full control, but awareness gives you steady direction. When the future feels heavy, bring your mind back to the next right action, not the next 100 actions, not the entire life plan, just the next right action. Maybe the next right action is to breathe. Maybe it is to rest. Maybe it is to send one message. Maybe it is to complete one task. Maybe it is to stop thinking and sleep. Maybe it is to accept that nothing more can be done today. This is how the present moment protects you. It makes life smaller, clearer, and more possible. Worry becomes overwhelming because it tries to make you live too much at once. It gathers tomorrow, next month, next year, every fear, every possibility, every responsibility, and places them all on your heart in one moment. No human being can carry life this way. You were not made to carry every future day today. You were made to live this breath, this step, this moment. Buddhism teaches the middle way, and part of the middle way is learning not to fall into extremes. Do not ignore the future completely, but do not become enslaved by it. Do not deny your responsibilities, but do not let responsibilities turn into constant mental punishment. Do not pretend everything is easy, but do not make everything heavier with imagination. Walk the middle path. Act wisely. Breathe deeply. Let the present support you. When worry says, you must know what will happen, respond, I only need to know what is true right now. When worry says, you must control everything, respond, I will take care of what is in my hands. When worry says, you are not safe unless the future is guaranteed, respond, nothing is fully guaranteed, but I can still be present. These gentle answers train the mind to stop obeying fear. One of the greatest freedoms in life is realizing that you do not have to believe the future your fear is showing you. Fear is not a prophet. Worry is not wisdom. Anxiety is not certainty. Just because your mind imagines something painful does not mean life has chosen that path. Many futures are possible, but worry always chooses the darkest one and calls it truth. Awareness helps you see that this is only one imagined story, not reality. So when your mind creates a fearful future, do not immediately enter it. Pause outside the story. Look at it gently. Say, this is a thought. This is a possibility my mind created. It is not happening right now. Then return to what is real. Your breath is real. Your body is real. The ground beneath you is real. The action you can take today is real. The kindness you can give today is real. The peace you can practice today is real. The more you do this, the more your relationship with the future changes. You still think about it, but you do not fear it in the same way. You still prepare, but you do not panic. You still care, but you do not cling. You still make plans, but you understand that life may move differently. This creates humility. It creates flexibility. It creates peace. Trusting the present moment does not mean trusting that everything will happen exactly as you want. It means trusting that you can meet life with awareness, whatever comes. It means trusting that this moment contains enough strength for this moment. It means trusting that when tomorrow arrives, it will arrive as today, and you will meet it then. You do not need to live tomorrow twice, once in fear and once in reality. Let tomorrow come only once. Think of how much lighter your life would feel if you stopped living every problem before it arrived. How much energy would return to your body? How much space would open in your mind? How much more deeply could you enjoy your day? How much more present could you be with the people around you? How much more peaceful would your nights become if you stopped forcing your mind to carry the future? This is not impossible. It begins with practice. The next time you catch yourself worrying, do not attack yourself. Do not say, I should not think this way. Instead, smile gently inside and say, my mind has gone into the future again. Then breathe. Return. Feel the body. Notice the room. Ask what is needed now. This gentle returning is the path. The mind may run away 1,000 times. Bring it back 1,000 times. This is not failure. This is practice. Every return strengthens awareness. Every return weakens the habit of worry. Every return reminds you that the present moment is still available. You do not need to be perfect. You only need to keep returning. In Buddhism, awakening is not only a big moment of sudden understanding, it is also the small daily act of waking up from unconscious suffering. You wake up when you notice that you are lost in fear. You wake up when you return to the breath. You wake up when you stop believing every thought. You wake up when you see that this moment is enough to begin again. These small awakenings slowly change your life. A person who trusts the present moment becomes harder for worry to control. They may still face uncertainty, but they do not fall apart as quickly. They may still have plans, but they do not become destroyed when plans change. They may still feel fear, but fear does not own their entire mind. They learn to stand in the present like a tree with deep roots. The winds may come, but they are not easily carried away. You can become this kind of person, not overnight, not through force, but through patient practice. Each day, give more attention to what is real than to what is imagined. Give more trust to your breath than to your fear. Give more energy to your next step than to your worst-case story. Give more love to the life in front of you than to the painful future your mind keeps creating. The future will come in its own time, and when it comes, you will meet it with the strength available in that moment. But today, do not hand your peace to something that has not arrived. Do not let a possible tomorrow steal an actual today. Do not let imagination take the place of life. This moment may not be perfect, but it is real, and because it is real, it deserves your attention. So trust this moment, trust this breath, trust the quiet ground beneath you. Trust the wisdom of taking one step at a time. Trust that you do not need to know the whole road to keep walking. Trust that you can face life better with a calm mind than with a frightened one. Trust that worry is not the only way to care. Trust that peace can exist even before every answer is known. When the mind runs forward, bring it back. When fear paints the future dark, open your eyes to the light that is here now. When worry says, "What if?" answer with presence. Right now, I am here. Right now, you are breathing. Right now, you can choose awareness. Right now, you can stop feeding the story. Right now, you can return to life. This is the path of freedom, not escaping the future, but no longer living inside it before it arrives. Not denying uncertainty, but refusing to let uncertainty steal the present. Not pretending fear does not exist, but remembering that fear is not the whole truth. The whole truth is this: you are here, life is happening now, and peace begins the moment you return. So do not trust the fearful future more than the present moment. The future is only a shadow until it arrives. The present is the doorway where life is waiting. Step through that doorway with your breath, your awareness, and your courage. Let worry lose its grip. Let your mind come home. Let your heart remember that this moment is not empty. It is alive, and it is yours. And as long as this moment is yours, you still have the power to live it with peace. 10. Let go of the need to know everything before you feel peace. One of the biggest reasons worry becomes so heavy is because the mind wants to know everything before it allows itself to rest. It wants to know what will happen tomorrow, how people will behave, whether plans will work, whether love will stay, whether pain will return, whether success will come, and whether life will finally become safe. The worried mind keeps searching for answers, but the more it searches, the more restless it becomes. It believes that if it can know enough, predict enough, and prepare enough, then maybe it will finally feel peaceful. But Buddhism teaches that peace does not come from knowing everything. Peace comes from learning how to sit calmly with what you do not know. Life will never give you every answer at once. Some answers come slowly. Some lessons only make sense after time has passed. Some doors open only after another door has closed. Some pain becomes wisdom only after the heart has had enough space to heal. If you demand complete understanding before you allow yourself to breathe, you will keep delaying your peace. You will keep telling yourself, "I will relax when I know what happens. I will be calm when I get the result. I will feel safe when people prove themselves. I will stop worrying when the future becomes clear." But the future rarely becomes fully clear before it arrives. This is why the need to know everything becomes another form of suffering. You think you are searching for peace, but actually you are putting peace far away from you. You are saying peace can only happen when life gives you certainty. But life is made of change, movement, and impermanence. People change, feelings change, plans change, bodies change, circumstances change. Even the things you are sure about today may look different tomorrow. So if your peace depends on certainty, your peace will always be fragile. Buddhism teaches the wisdom of impermanence, not to make you afraid, but to help you stop clinging so tightly. When you understand that everything changes, you stop demanding that life become completely predictable. You begin to see that uncertainty is not an enemy, it is part of life. The flower does not know how long the sun will shine, but it still opens. The river does not know every stone it will meet, but it still flows. The bird does not know every wind that will rise, but it still flies. Nature does not wait for full certainty before it lives, but the human mind often waits. It says, "I need to know first." It wants to know the whole path before taking one step. It wants to know the ending before beginning the journey. It wants to know whether it will be hurt before opening the heart. It wants to know whether it will succeed before making effort. It wants to know whether everything will be safe before choosing peace. And because it cannot know everything, it becomes stuck. Worry often hides behind the desire for clarity. Sometimes you may tell yourself, "I am just trying to understand." But if understanding turns into endless mental torture, then it is no longer wisdom. It is worry, wearing the mask of wisdom. True understanding brings lightness. Worry brings heaviness. True reflection helps you see the next step. Worry keeps you walking in circles. True awareness creates space. Worry creates pressure. So you must learn to notice the difference between thinking clearly and suffering repeatedly. There is nothing wrong with asking questions. There is nothing wrong with planning. There is nothing wrong with wanting to understand your life. Buddhism does not teach you to become careless or blind. It teaches you to see clearly. But seeing clearly also means knowing when the mind has gone too far. Sometimes the mind is not solving anything. It is only repeating fear. Sometimes you are not preparing. You are punishing yourself with possibilities. Sometimes you are not finding answers. You are creating more questions because silence feels uncomfortable. Many people fear silence because silence gives them no guarantee. When everything becomes quiet, the mind begins to search for something to control. It asks, "What if this happens? What if that happens? What if I am not ready? What if I lose something? What if I make the wrong choice?" But beneath all these questions is one deep fear. Can I be okay, even when I do not know? This is one of the most important questions on the path of peace. The answer is yes. You can be okay without knowing everything. You can breathe without knowing the full future. You can take one step without seeing the whole road. You can be peaceful before every problem is solved. You can be present before every answer is clear. This does not mean life will always be easy. It means you do not have to make life harder by demanding complete certainty before you allow yourself to live. Think about your own life. How many times did you not know what would happen, but somehow you continued? How many times did you face a situation without all the answers, but life still carried you forward? How many times did something confuse you at first, but later you understood why it happened? How many times did a closed door protect you from a path that was not meant for you? How many times did a painful ending become the beginning of a wiser version of yourself? The mind forgets this. Worry makes you feel as if you have never survived uncertainty before. But you have. You have lived through unknown days. You have waited for answers. You have faced changes. You have walked through confusion. You have been disappointed, afraid, unsure, and still you are here. This means uncertainty did not destroy you. It shaped you. It taught you. It carried you into another version of yourself. When you remember this, you begin to trust life differently. Not blindly, not foolishly, but gently. You begin to say, "I do not know everything, but I can still take the next step." You begin to say, "I do not have all the answers, but I can still breathe." You begin to say, "I do not know how this will unfold, but I do not need to suffer for every possible outcome today." This is not weakness. This is wisdom. A worried mind wants the whole map. A peaceful mind asks for the next step. A worried mind wants the final answer. A peaceful mind asks, "What is true right now?" A worried mind wants life to promise that nothing painful will happen. A peaceful mind understands that pain may come, but awareness can meet it. This is the difference between fear and faith in the present moment. In Buddhism, letting go does not mean throwing life away. It does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop gripping so tightly that your own hand begins to bleed. You can care about your future without being tortured by it. You can care about people without needing to control them. You can care about success without attaching your whole worth to the result. You can care about healing without demanding that healing happen immediately. Letting go of the need to know everything means you accept that some things are not ready to be understood yet. Some answers need time, some situations need patience, some relationships reveal their truth slowly. Some paths become clear only after you start walking. If you stand still waiting for the whole road to appear, you may never move. But if you take one mindful step, the next step often becomes clearer. This is how life works. The path is not always shown in full. Sometimes you are given only enough light for the next step, and that is enough. You do not need to see the entire mountain to begin climbing. You do not need to know the whole journey to take one honest step. You do not need to understand every chapter of your life to keep turning the page. The need to know everything can also come from fear of pain. You want to know whether someone will hurt you so you can protect yourself. You want to know whether a choice will fail so you can avoid regret. You want to know whether the future will be safe so you can avoid disappointment. This is understandable. The heart that has suffered wants protection. The mind that has been shocked by life wants warning. But too much protection can become another prison. If you refuse to live until you are sure you will never be hurt, you may stop yourself from experiencing love, growth, courage, and new beginnings. If you refuse to try until you are sure you will never fail, you may never discover your own strength. If you refuse to trust anything until life gives you complete proof, you may spend your days standing at the door of life, afraid to enter. Worry promises protection, but often it only creates distance between you and the life you are meant to live. Buddhist wisdom does not ask you to become reckless. It asks you to become awake. Protect yourself with awareness, not fear. Make choices with clarity, not panic. Watch actions, not only words. Learn from the past, but do not let the past write every future story. Be careful, but do not become closed. Be wise, but do not become frozen. Be patient, but do not stop living. Sometimes you must say to yourself, I do not know how this will end, but I know how I want to show up today. This is powerful. You may not control the ending, but you can control your presence. You may not control another person's heart, but you can control whether you abandon your own peace. You may not control every result, but you can control the honesty, effort, and awareness you bring to this moment. When you focus on what you can bring to the present, life becomes less frightening. You stop asking the future to comfort you. You stop demanding that tomorrow give you permission to breathe today. You stop making your peace depend on things that have not happened yet. Instead, you return to yourself. You ask, can I be kind right now? Can I be patient right now? Can I be wise right now? Can I take one step right now? Can I stop feeding fear right now? These questions are better than endless worry. They bring your power back. Worry makes you feel powerless because it focuses on things beyond your control. Awareness makes you powerful because it brings you back to what can be lived, chosen, and practiced now. The more you return to what is in your hands, the less you suffer over what is beyond your hands. There will be moments when your mind says, but I need to know. In those moments, speak gently to yourself. Say, I understand that I want certainty. I understand that I want safety. I understand that not knowing feels uncomfortable. But I do not need to turn uncertainty into suffering. I can breathe here. I can wait with patience. I can let life reveal what I cannot force today. This kind voice is important. It helps the mind relax without feeling attacked. Do not fight your worried mind as if it is your enemy. Your worried mind is often only trying to protect you in the only way it knows. It learned fear from pain. It learned control from uncertainty. It learned overthinking from moments when life felt unsafe. So do not hate it. Teach it. Guide it. Calm it. Tell it, thank you for trying to protect me, but we do not need to suffer like this anymore. This is compassion. And compassion is central to the Buddhist path. You do not become peaceful by being cruel to yourself. You become peaceful by understanding your suffering and responding with wisdom. If your mind wants to know everything, do not shame it. Understand that it is afraid. Then show it another way. Show it the breath. Show it the present. Show it the next step. Show it that peace is possible even without full certainty. A beautiful practice is to place your hand on your heart when worry becomes loud and say, "This is uncertainty. This is fear. This is the human mind wanting safety. I can be gentle with this." These words may seem simple, but they create space. They remind you that you are not broken, you are human, and because you are human, you are allowed to feel uncertain without becoming lost. Letting go of the need to know everything also means trusting timing. Not every answer comes when the mind demands it. Sometimes you need more life experience before you can understand why something happened. Sometimes emotions must settle before truth becomes visible. Sometimes distance shows you what closeness could not. Sometimes silence teaches what noise hides. If you force answers too early, you may create stories that are not true. The worried mind hates waiting. It wants answers now. It wants closure now. It wants proof now. It wants reassurance now. But wisdom understands that some things cannot be rushed. A seed cannot become a tree in one night. A wound cannot become a scar in one breath. A confused heart cannot always become clear in one moment. Everything has a process. Everything has a season. Peace grows when you stop fighting the season you are in. If you are in a season of not knowing, do not treat it like failure. Not knowing can be a sacred place. It can teach patience. It can teach humility. It can teach trust. It can teach you to stop controlling everything with the mind and start listening with awareness. Sometimes not knowing is the space where a new version of you is being formed. You may not know what comes next, but you can know how to care for yourself today. You may not know why something happened, but you can choose not to let it make your heart bitter. You may not know whether a dream will succeed, but you can still give honest effort. You may not know whether someone will stay, but you can still stay loyal to your own peace. You may not know every answer, but you can still become someone who meets uncertainty with dignity. This is what worry does not understand. It thinks certainty is the only safety. But awareness is also safety. Self-trust is safety. Mindful breathing is safety. Inner stability is safety. The ability to return to yourself is safety. When you build peace inside, you do not need the outside world to answer every question before you feel grounded. You become your own place of return. A person who lets go of the need to know everything becomes lighter. They still care, but they do not cling. They still plan, but they do not panic. They still love, but they do not try to possess. They still work, but they do not attach their whole identity to the outcome. They still face uncertainty, but they no longer see uncertainty as proof that something bad must happen. They learn to walk with life instead of fighting life. This is a beautiful way to live. It does not remove all pain, but it removes unnecessary suffering. Pain may come from life, but suffering often comes from the mind's resistance to life. This is difficult. Suffering says, "This should not be happening. I must know why. I must control it. I must solve everything now." When you soften this resistance, the pain may still be there, but the mind becomes less tortured. So when you do not know what will happen, come back to what you do know. You know you are breathing. You know this moment is here. You know one small step can be taken. You know your peace matters. You know worry will not make the future safer. You know you have survived uncertainty before. You know that thoughts are not always truth. You know that the present is where life is actually lived. These simple truths can hold you when bigger answers are missing. They can become a quiet ground beneath your feet. And sometimes that is all you need. Not the whole answer, not the whole future, just enough ground to stand on today. The more you practice this, the more you begin to feel freedom. You no longer need to chase every answer immediately. You no longer need to replay every conversation. You no longer need to imagine every ending. You no longer need to ask fear for permission to rest. You can sit with uncertainty and still breathe. You can wait without falling apart. You can trust that what needs to be seen will be seen in time. This is not easy, but it is deeply peaceful. It is the peace of a person who has stopped fighting every unknown. It is the peace of a person who understands that life cannot be controlled by overthinking. It is the peace of a person who has learned that not knowing is not the same as being unsafe. It is the peace of a person who can say, I do not have every answer, but I still have this breath. So let go of the need to know everything before you feel peace. Let go of the demand that life explain itself before you allow yourself to rest. Let go of the belief that certainty is the only doorway to calmness. Let go of the habit of turning every unknown into a fear story. You do not need to solve your whole life in one day. You do not need to understand every pain before healing begins. You do not need to predict every outcome before taking the next step. All you need is this moment, this breath, this awareness, and the willingness to return. The future will reveal itself in time. The path will open as you walk. The answers will come when your heart is ready to receive them. Until then, do not let uncertainty steal your life. Do not let the unknown become a cage. Do not let the mind's hunger for answers destroy the peace that is available now. Breathe deeply. Feel the present moment. Let your shoulders soften. Let the mind stop running for a while. Say to yourself, I do not know everything, and that is okay. I can still be peaceful. I can still be present. I can still live this moment with awareness. This is the beginning of freedom, because the life you were meant to live does not require complete certainty. It requires presence. It requires courage. It requires trust. It requires the wisdom to take one step without seeing the whole road. It requires the compassion to hold your own fear gently. It requires the strength to stop giving your whole life to questions that time has not answered yet. And when you finally stop demanding every answer before you breathe, you discover something beautiful. Peace was never waiting at the end of certainty. Peace was waiting inside your willingness to be here, even while life is still unfolding. 11. Stop carrying tomorrow's pain in today's heart. One of the heaviest habits of the worried mind is carrying tomorrow's pain before tomorrow has even arrived. The mind looks at the future and begins to imagine problems, losses, disappointments, failures, and difficult moments. Then the heart reacts as if those things are already happening. The body becomes tense. The chest becomes heavy. The breath becomes short. The night becomes restless. But when you look around, nothing is happening right now. The suffering is not coming from the present moment. It is coming from the future your mind is creating. This is how worry steals your life. It does not always wait for real pain. It creates pain in advance. It makes you cry before anything has been lost. It makes you feel defeated before anything has failed. It makes you feel abandoned before anyone has left. It makes you feel unsafe before danger has arrived. Slowly, you begin to live as if every imagined future is already real. And when the mind does this every day, the heart becomes tired from carrying things that were never meant to be carried today. Buddhism teaches that suffering grows when we cling to thoughts as if they are reality. A thought appears and says, "What if this goes wrong?" Another thought says, "What if I cannot handle it?" Another thought says, "What if life becomes harder?" If you believe every thought, you begin to suffer inside stories. You are no longer living in the moment. You are living inside fear. But a thought is not a fact. A thought is not a prophecy. A thought is not the future. A thought is only something passing through the mind. When you understand this, you begin to see worry differently. You no longer treat every fear like a warning from truth. You begin to ask, is this real right now, or is this only my mind trying to protect me from something that has not happened? This question is powerful because it brings you back to the present. It reminds you that you do not have to carry a pain that life has not placed in your hands. Many people think worry helps them prepare. They believe that if they suffer in advance, they will be stronger when difficulty comes. But suffering before suffering does not make you stronger. It makes you exhausted. It drains the energy you would need if a real problem actually arrived. It makes your mind cloudy, your emotions unstable, and your body tired. A peaceful mind prepares better than a frightened mind. A calm heart responds better than a heart already broken by imagination. Think of a person who spends the whole night worrying about tomorrow. They imagine every bad result. They think of every painful possibility. They rehearse every conversation. They prepare for every disappointment. By morning, they are already tired before the day begins. Even if the day brings no real disaster, they have already suffered. And if the day does bring a challenge, they face it with less strength because worry has already taken their peace. This is why Buddhism teaches us to return to what is here, not because the future does not matter, but because the future cannot be lived before it arrives. You can plan wisely, but you cannot live tomorrow today. You can prepare with awareness, but you cannot control every possible result through fear. You can care about what happens, but you do not need to destroy yourself before anything has happened. There is a difference between preparation and worry. Preparation is calm, worry is restless. Preparation asks, what can I do now? Worry asks, what if everything goes wrong? Preparation takes one useful step. Worry walks in circles. Preparation brings clarity. Worry brings confusion. Preparation uses the mind as a tool. Worry turns the mind into a prison. When you understand this difference, you begin to stop calling worry wisdom. If something needs to be done, do it. If something needs to be planned, plan it. If a conversation needs to happen, speak with honesty. If a responsibility needs attention, give it attention. But after you have done what can be done, do not keep sitting in the fire of imagination. Do not keep reopening the future again and again. Do not keep asking your heart to suffer for a problem that has not arrived. The future belongs to the future. This moment belongs to you. And when you keep giving this moment to tomorrow's fear, you lose the only place where peace can actually be found. Peace is not found in a future that is perfectly controlled. Peace is found when the mind returns to the present and says, right now, I am here. Right now, I can breathe. Right now, I can take one step. Right now, I do not need to carry what has not come. This does not mean you deny reality. It means you stop adding imaginary suffering to reality. Real problems are heavy enough. You do not need to create 10 more inside your mind. If pain comes tomorrow, tomorrow will also bring the strength to meet it. But today, you are not required to live that pain twice. You are not required to turn every possibility into a wound. You are not required to make your heart pay for a future that may never happen. Buddhism speaks often about impermanence. Everything changes. This means the future you fear may not arrive the way your mind imagines. The situation may change. The person may respond differently. The answer may come. The door may open. Your own strength may grow. Your understanding may become deeper. Life is not frozen inside the picture your fear is showing you. Life is alive, moving, changing, and unfolding. Worry makes the future look fixed. It shows you one dark ending and says, this is what will happen. But life is not limited to the story your fear creates. There are many possible paths. There are many possible answers. There are many possible ways things can unfold. Sometimes what you feared becomes smaller. Sometimes what you dreaded becomes a lesson. Sometimes what you thought would destroy you becomes the very thing that awakens you. So do not bow down to the first frightening story your mind creates. Do not give your whole peace to one imagined result. Do not let fear become the author of your life before life has even written the next page. Let the next page come. Meet it when it arrives. Until then, stay here. To stay here means to return to the body. Feel your breath. Feel your hands. Feel your feet touching the ground. Notice the room around you. Notice the sounds. Notice the light. Notice that in this moment you are alive. This simple awareness is not small. It is the way back from imaginary suffering. The body is always honest. It says, "We are here." The mind may be in tomorrow, but the body is always in today. When worry becomes strong, speak to yourself gently. Say, "I know you are afraid, but we do not need to carry tomorrow today." Say, "If something happens, we will meet it when it comes." Say, "Right now, we can breathe." Say, "Right now, we can rest." Say, "Right now, we can take one wise step." This is not weakness. This is self-compassion, and self-compassion is part of healing the worried mind. A worried mind often needs kindness, not punishment. Many people become angry at themselves for worrying. They say, "Why am I like this? Why can't I stop thinking? Why am I so weak?" But this only adds more suffering. The mind that is afraid does not become peaceful through insult. It becomes peaceful through understanding. If a child was afraid, you would not shout at them to stop being afraid. You would hold them gently. You would speak softly. You would help them feel safe. Your worried mind needs the same patience. When you treat your worry with awareness and kindness, you begin to teach the mind a new way. You teach it that fear does not need to become panic. You teach it that uncertainty does not need to become suffering. You teach it that thoughts can pass without being obeyed. You teach it that the present moment is safe enough to return to. And slowly, the mind begins to trust peace again. This practice may take time. If you have spent years carrying tomorrow's pain, your mind may not stop in one day. It may run into the future, again and again. But every time you notice it and return, you are becoming free. Every return is a victory. Every breath is a small awakening. Every moment of awareness is proof that worry no longer owns you completely. Do not underestimate small returns. One conscious breath can interrupt a long chain of fear. One moment of awareness can stop a painful story from becoming your whole night. One gentle question can bring you back from imaginary suffering. One choice to rest can protect your mind from becoming more exhausted. Peace is not always built through big changes. Often, peace is built through small moments of coming back. Imagine placing a heavy bag on your shoulders every morning. Inside that bag are fears about tomorrow, next week, next year, and everything that might go wrong. You carry it while eating, working, talking, resting, and trying to sleep. After a while, you forget the bag is there. You only feel tired and wonder why life feels so heavy. But the heaviness is not only from life. It is from all the imagined pain you are carrying with it. Now imagine gently putting that bag down. Not forever, not perfectly, but just for this moment. You say, "I will pick up what needs to be carried when it truly comes. But I will not carry every imagined future today." This is what peace feels like. It is not escaping responsibility. It is refusing to carry what is not yours yet. Many people are afraid to put the bag down because they think worry keeps them safe. But ask yourself honestly, has worry truly protected you, or has it only made you tired? Did worry stop every problem, or did it only make you suffer before the problem arrived? Did worry bring clarity, or did it make the mind more confused? Did worry give you strength, or did it drain the strength you already had? When you see clearly, you begin to understand that worry is not the same as wisdom. Wisdom prepares, worry panics. Wisdom observes. Worry imagines. Wisdom acts. Worry repeats. Wisdom accepts what is beyond control. Worry fights what it cannot change. To stop carrying tomorrow's pain, you must choose wisdom over worry again and again. There may be something in your life right now that feels uncertain. Maybe you do not know how things will end. Maybe you are waiting for an answer. Maybe you are afraid of losing something. Maybe you are afraid of failing. Maybe you are afraid that life will change in a way you cannot control. Your fear may feel real, your worry may feel powerful, but still, ask yourself, what is actually happening right now? Not what might happen, not what fear says will happen, not what happened before. What is happening right now? This question cuts through illusion. It brings the mind back to truth. Maybe right now you are sitting. Maybe right now you are breathing. Maybe right now you are safe enough. Maybe right now there is one small thing you can do. Maybe right now there is nothing more to do except rest. Let that be enough. The mind will say, but what about tomorrow? And you can answer, tomorrow will be met tomorrow. The mind will say, but what if I am not ready? And you can answer, I am becoming ready by caring for my peace today. The mind will say, but what if pain comes? And you can answer, if pain comes, I will meet it with the strength of that moment. I do not need to suffer for it now. This is not denial. This is deep spiritual discipline. It takes discipline to stay present when the mind wants to run. It takes discipline to breathe when fear wants to control you. It takes discipline to rest when worry tells you to keep thinking. It takes discipline to trust that not everything needs to be solved tonight. This kind of discipline is soft but powerful. It is the discipline of peace. Buddhism teaches that the mind is trainable. The mind is not fixed. The mind is not your enemy. If it has learned worry, it can learn awareness. If it has learned fear, it can learn calmness. If it has learned to run into tomorrow, it can learn to return to today. But training takes repetition. You cannot feed worry every day and expect peace to grow. You must begin feeding peace with your attention. Feed peace by slowing down. Feed peace by breathing deeply. Feed peace by noticing when thoughts are only thoughts. Feed peace by doing what can be done and releasing what cannot. Feed peace by practicing gratitude. Feed peace by sleeping when your body is tired. Feed peace by saying no to mental stories that only hurt you. Feed peace by returning to the present moment again and again. When you stop carrying tomorrow's pain, you begin to feel the life that is here. You taste your food again. You hear people more clearly. You notice the morning light. You feel the softness of silence. You become more available to love, work, rest, and healing. The present moment becomes more alive because your attention is no longer trapped in imagined suffering. This is the life worry was stealing from you. Not only big dreams, but small moments. Not only future happiness, but today's peace. Not only your confidence, but your ability to be here. When you stop giving your whole mind to tomorrow, you begin receiving today again. And today may not be perfect, but it is real. It is yours. It is the only place where life can be lived. You do not have to know that everything will be okay before you stop worrying. Sometimes, the deeper truth is this: even if everything is not okay, worry will not make it easier. Fear will not make you stronger. Panic will not make the road clearer. But awareness can help. Breath can help. Patience can help. Wise action can help. Rest can help. Presence can help. So choose what actually helps. Choose the breath over the story. Choose one step over endless imagination. Choose awareness over panic. Choose today over tomorrow's shadow. Choose peace over the habit of suffering early. Every time you do this, you are taking your life back from worry. There is a quiet freedom in saying, I will not suffer before suffering arrives. It does not mean pain will never come. It means you will not invite pain into your home before it knocks. It means you will not let fear live in your heart rent-free. It means you will not spend your sacred life rehearsing disasters. It means you will meet life as it comes, not as your fear imagines it. This is how a peaceful person lives. They do not know everything. They do not control everything. They do not avoid every difficulty, but they have learned not to multiply suffering through imagination. They have learned not to turn one uncertain tomorrow into a painful today. They have learned to pause, breathe, and return. They have learned to carry only what this moment asks them to carry. So today, look at the worries you are holding and ask, Is this mine to carry right now? If the answer is yes, take one wise step. If the answer is no, put it down for now. Let the future wait for its own moment. Let tomorrow arrive in its own time. Let your heart rest in the day that is actually here. You are not careless when you stop worrying. You are becoming wise. You are not weak when you choose peace. You are protecting your strength. You are not ignoring life when you return to the present. You are meeting life where it truly exists. Stop carrying tomorrow's pain in today's heart. Today already has enough to teach you. Today already has enough to show you. Today already has enough breath, enough light, enough opportunity, enough silence, enough life. Do not cover it with fears that have not arrived. Come back to this breath. Come back to this moment. Come back to what is real. The future will come when it comes, and when it comes, you will meet it then. But right now, you are here. Right now, your heart can soften. Right now, your mind can become quiet. Right now, you can stop suffering for something that is not yet here. And in that choice, even if it is small, freedom begins. 12. Return to yourself before worry takes you too far. There comes a moment when worry does not only disturb your mind, it begins to pull you away from yourself. You stop feeling present in your own life. You stop hearing your own inner voice clearly. You stop knowing what your heart truly needs because the noise of fear becomes louder than the wisdom inside you. You may still wake up, work, speak, smile, and move through the day, but deep inside, you feel far away from yourself. This is one of the quietest ways worry steals your life. Worry takes you too far into the future. It takes you too far into fear. It takes you too far into imagined problems, painful endings, and situations that may never happen. And the more your mind travels into these dark places, the more disconnected you become from the simple truth of who you are right now. You forget your breath. You forget your body. You forget your strength. You forget that this moment is real, and the fearful story in your mind is only a story. Buddhism teaches that peace is not something you find by running away from yourself. Peace begins when you return to yourself with awareness. The world may be uncertain, but you can return to your breath. The future may be unclear, but you can return to this moment. Your thoughts may be loud, but you can return to the quiet watcher inside you. This return is the beginning of freedom. Many people think they need to escape life to feel peaceful. They think peace will come when they leave all problems behind, when everyone understands them, when every fear disappears, and when life finally becomes easy. But real peace does not always come from escaping your situation. Sometimes peace begins when you stop escaping yourself. You sit quietly. You breathe. You notice what is happening inside you. You stop running after every thought. You stop fighting every feeling. You simply return. Returning to yourself means remembering that you are not only your worries, you are not only your fears, you are not only your mistakes, your losses, your unanswered questions, or your uncertain future. You are the awareness behind all of it. You are the one who can notice worry without becoming worry. You are the one who can feel fear without letting fear become your whole identity. You are the one who can pause, breathe, and choose a wiser response. When worry takes you too far, it makes you believe you are powerless. It tells you that the future is bigger than you. It tells you that your problems are stronger than your spirit. It tells you that you cannot handle what may come. But look at your life with honesty. You have already survived days you once thought you could not survive. You have carried pain and still continued. You have faced confusion and still moved forward. You have been broken in some places, but you are still here. This means there is a strength inside you that worry often forgets. Buddhism does not teach you to become hard or emotionless. It teaches you to become awake. Being awake means seeing worry clearly instead of blindly obeying it. It means understanding that the mind can create suffering even when life is not hurting you in this moment. It means recognizing when fear is speaking and when wisdom is speaking. It means learning to ask, Is this thought guiding me, or is it only frightening me? This question can bring you back, because not every thought deserves your trust. Some thoughts are only echoes of old pain. Some thoughts are only habits of fear. Some thoughts are only the mind trying to control what cannot be controlled. If you follow every thought, you will be pulled in many directions and never feel at home inside yourself. But if you learn to watch thoughts with awareness, you begin to stand still inside your own being. Returning to yourself also means returning to the body. When worry becomes strong, the body often suffers quietly. Your shoulders become tight, your chest becomes heavy, your stomach becomes disturbed, your face becomes tense, your breathing becomes shallow. The body begins to live as if danger is already here, even when the danger is only in the mind. This is why you must come back gently to the body and say through awareness, I am here, I am breathing, I am safe enough in this moment. Take a deep breath, not to force peace, but to remember presence. Feel the air entering your lungs, feel your feet touching the ground, feel your hands, feel your heartbeat. Let the body remind you that you are not inside tomorrow right now. You are here, you are in this moment. This simple return may not solve every problem, but it can stop worry from carrying you further into imaginary suffering. Many times, worry becomes worse because you keep feeding it with attention. A thought appears, and instead of letting it pass, you enter it. You add more thoughts to it. You imagine conversations. You imagine failures. You imagine losses. You imagine everything falling apart. Soon, one thought becomes a whole world of fear, and because you have spent so much time inside that world, it begins to feel real. But awareness breaks this pattern. Awareness says, I see what is happening. My mind is building a story. I do not have to keep building it. This is a powerful moment. The moment you see the story, you are no longer fully trapped inside it. The moment you notice worry, you create space between yourself and worry. In that space, you can choose. You can choose to breathe. You can choose to stop the story. You can choose to take one useful action. You can choose to rest. You can choose to return to what is real. This choice may feel small, but it is the beginning of taking your life back. Buddhist practice is not only sitting in silence, it is also the practice of returning, again and again, returning when the mind runs into fear, returning when anger takes over, returning when sadness becomes heavy, returning when old memories pull you back, returning when the future feels too big. Each return is a small awakening. Each return says, I will not abandon myself completely to this suffering. You may need to return many times in one day. That does not mean you are failing. It means you are practicing. The mind has practiced worry for a long time, so it may not become peaceful immediately. Be patient with yourself. A river does not become clear the moment mud is stirred. It becomes clear when it is allowed to settle. In the same way, your mind becomes clear when you stop stirring it with constant fear. Do not demand instant peace from yourself. This demand becomes another form of pressure. Instead, give yourself permission to return slowly, one breath at a time, one thought at a time, one moment at a time. If your mind runs away again, bring it back again. If worry rises again, notice it again. If fear becomes loud again, soften again. This is the path. Not perfection, but return. Returning to yourself also means remembering what truly matters. Worry often makes small things look enormous and important things disappear. It makes one message, one result, one opinion, one mistake, or one uncertain moment feel like your whole life. But when you return to yourself, you see more clearly. You remember that your peace matters, your health matters, your values matter, your ability to live with kindness and awareness matters. Your whole life is bigger than this one fear. Ask yourself gently, what am I forgetting because I am worrying? Maybe you are forgetting to rest. Maybe you are forgetting to eat properly. Maybe you are forgetting to appreciate someone who loves you. Maybe you are forgetting to enjoy this day. Maybe you are forgetting your own strength. Maybe you are forgetting that not every problem deserves your whole soul. This question can wake you up. When worry takes you too far, it often makes you abandon your own needs. You may stop sleeping well. You may stop taking care of your body. You may stop doing things that bring calmness. You may stop speaking kindly to yourself. You may stop living and only start surviving. But you cannot heal a worried mind by neglecting the person who is suffering. You must care for yourself with the same tenderness you would offer someone you love. Self-care is not selfish when worry is draining your life. It is wisdom. Resting is wisdom. Breathing is wisdom. Walking slowly is wisdom. Turning away from unnecessary fear is wisdom. Saying, "I cannot solve this tonight," is wisdom. Giving your mind a break is wisdom. Buddhism teaches compassion for all beings, and you are also one of those beings. Your suffering also deserves compassion. There may be moments when you feel guilty for choosing peace. You may think, "How can I rest when I have problems? How can I be calm when the future is uncertain? How can I enjoy this moment when something may go wrong?" But peace is not betrayal. Peace is not carelessness. Peace is the strength that helps you face life without being destroyed by your own mind. A peaceful person is not ignoring reality. A peaceful person is protecting their ability to respond wisely. If you burn your mind with worry every day, you will not become stronger. You will become tired. You will become reactive. You will become disconnected from the wisdom inside you. But when you return to yourself, you become clearer. You begin to understand what needs action and what needs acceptance. You begin to see what is real and what is only fear. You begin to know when to move, when to wait, when to speak, and when to let go. This is why returning to yourself is not weakness. It is inner discipline. It takes discipline to pause before panic. It takes discipline to breathe when the mind wants to run. It takes discipline to stop feeding a painful thought. It takes discipline to rest without guilt. It takes discipline to say, "This fear is not my home." This discipline is quiet, but it changes your life. Worry wants you to believe that peace is far away. It says peace will come when everything is solved, when every person changes, when every answer is clear, when the future is guaranteed. But Buddhism teaches that peace begins in the way you relate to this moment. Peace begins when you stop fighting what is here with endless imagination. Peace begins when you stop turning uncertainty into a prison. Peace begins when you return to the breath and remember that you do not have to live inside every thought. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is stop and say, "I am here." Not as a small sentence, but as a deep remembrance. I am here in this body. I am here in this breath. I am here in this moment. I am not in all the futures my mind creates. I am not in every fear that visits me. I am not lost forever. I can return. This simple truth can become a doorway back to yourself. Imagine standing outside during a storm. The wind is loud, the sky is dark, and everything feels uncertain. But beneath your feet, the ground is still there. The storm may move around you, but the ground holds you. In the same way, thoughts may storm inside your mind, but awareness is the ground beneath them. Worry may move loudly, but there is something deeper inside you that can stay still. Returning to yourself means returning to that ground. You do not need to stop every storm to find peace. You need to remember the ground. You do not need to silence every thought to become free. You need to remember the awareness that can watch thoughts. You do not need to control every future event to live well. You need to remember the presence that can meet each moment as it comes. When you return to yourself, you also stop giving other people too much control over your inner world. Worry often grows from what others may think, what others may do, whether others will stay, whether others will approve, whether others will understand. But your peace cannot depend completely on the behavior of other people. People are changing beings. They have their own minds, wounds, fears, and choices. If your whole peace depends on them, your inner world will always feel unsafe. This does not mean you stop loving people. It means you stop abandoning yourself while loving them. You can care about others and still come back to yourself. You can love someone and still protect your peace. You can listen to others and still hear your own wisdom. You can be kind without becoming controlled by fear of losing them. This is balance. This is maturity. This is spiritual strength. Returning to yourself means becoming your own safe place, not because you need no one, but because you no longer want to lose yourself in everything outside you. You learn to sit with your own breath. You learn to calm your own mind. You learn to hold your own fear gently. You learn to remind yourself, I am here with me. This creates a deep kind of stability. Many people search for peace outside themselves, while ignoring the place where peace must begin. They search in approval, success, relationships, money, control, and future certainty. These things may bring comfort, but they cannot replace inner awareness. If the mind is untrained, even good things become reasons to worry. You get something good, and then you worry about losing it. You meet someone kind, and then you worry they will leave. You succeed, and then you worry you will fail later. This shows that peace cannot only come from outside, it must be practiced within. When you return to yourself, you begin to see that you can enjoy life without clinging to it so tightly. You can appreciate people without trying to possess them. You can work toward dreams without turning them into your whole identity. You can face uncertainty without making fear your ruler. You can live with open hands, not because you do not care, but because you understand that clinging too tightly creates suffering. Buddhism teaches the path of non-attachment. Non-attachment does not mean coldness. It means freedom from desperate clinging. It means you love, but you do not lose your entire self in fear. You try, but you do not destroy your worth over the result. You plan, but you do not panic when life changes. You care, but you do not carry what is beyond your hands. This is how the heart becomes lighter. A lighter heart can live more fully. It can laugh without immediately fearing sadness. It can love without immediately imagining loss. It can rest without feeling guilty. It can move forward without needing every answer. It can experience life as it comes, instead of always defending itself from what may never happen. This is the freedom worry tries to take from you, and this is the freedom awareness can give back. So return to yourself before worry takes you too far. Return before fear becomes your identity. Return before the future becomes more real than the present. Return before your life becomes only a list of imagined problems. Return before your body becomes exhausted from carrying what is not here. Return before your heart forgets that peace is still possible. Return through the breath. Return through silence. Return through one mindful step. Return through gratitude. Return through kindness toward yourself. Return through letting go of the thought that is hurting you. Return through asking, what is real right now? Return through remembering that you are more than this worry. And when you return, do not expect everything to become perfect immediately. Just notice the small space that opens. Notice the body softening a little. Notice the breath becoming deeper. Notice the mind becoming slightly less trapped. Notice the heart remembering that it does not have to live so far away from itself. These small changes matter. Your peace may begin as a small moment. Protect it. Your awareness may begin as one breath. Honor it. Your return may begin with one simple decision. I will not follow this fear any further. That decision is powerful. It is the moment you stop giving worry permission to lead you away from your own life. The world may remain uncertain. The future may remain unknown. Some answers may still be missing. But you do not have to be missing from yourself. You can be here. You can be present. You can be gentle. You can be awake. You can choose not to abandon your peace just because life is not fully clear. This is the deep lesson. Worry takes you away from yourself, but awareness brings you back. Fear makes you live in shadows, but presence returns you to life. Overthinking makes the mind a prison, but the breath opens the door. And every time you return, you remember that peace was not lost forever. It was waiting beneath the noise. So come back. Come back from tomorrow. Come back from fear. Come back from the stories your mind keeps creating. Come back from the old pain that keeps pretending to be your future. Come back from the need to control everything. Come back from the belief that worry is protecting you. Come back to the breath. Come back to the body. Come back to the present. Come back to yourself. Because the life you were meant to live cannot be lived while you are far away from your own heart. It cannot be lived while your mind is trapped in every possible tomorrow. It cannot be lived while fear is making every decision for you. It begins when you return. It begins when you remember that this moment is real. It begins when you stop letting worry take you so far that you forget who you are. And right now, in this breath, you can return. Worry will always try to convince you that fear is protection. It will tell you to think more, doubt more, control more, and prepare for every possible pain. But Buddhism teaches that a life controlled by worry is not a protected life. It is a life slowly being stolen from the present moment. You do not need to know everything before you breathe. You do not need to control everything before you feel peace. You do not need to solve your whole future before you allow yourself to live today. Most of the suffering you carry is not coming from what is happening right now. It is coming from what the mind keeps imagining, repeating, and fearing. So come back to this moment. Come back to your breath. Come back to what is real. If something can be changed, change it with wisdom. If something can be done, do it with patience. If something is beyond your hands, stop letting it destroy your heart before its time. The life you were meant to live is not waiting in a perfect future where nothing ever goes wrong. It is here, in the present moment you keep leaving behind. It is in the quiet breath you take before panic. It is in the peace you choose before fear becomes your master. It is in the small decision to stop suffering for problems that have not arrived. So do not let worry steal another day from you. Do not let fear take your sleep, your joy, your gratitude, your love, and your ability to be alive. You are here now. You are breathing now. You can begin again now. Let the mind become still. Let the heart become lighter. Let the future unfold in its own time. And remember this deeply. Worry may visit your mind, but it does not have to become your home. Choose peace. Choose presence. Choose this breath. Choose the life that is still waiting for you right now.